Hey everyone, Amanda Balionis back for week 3 of our beginner yoga series. If you don't know me, I am a proud Stifel ambassador, and I also work for CBS as an announcer for golf and football. But during these times, we thought this would be a great way for everyone to reset while they're working from home, dealing with a number of anxieties and stressors that come with all of that, and also the stressors of talking about re-entering back into the real world and what the new normal is. So a lot of things can come up right now. This is why we're bringing you this beginner series with breath work and also some yoga flows, so you can have something to fall back on, whether you are in your living room or just you don't have a ton of space or a ton of time. You can come back to this practice. So if you haven't watched the first 2 videos, I encourage you to do so, because we are building off of those every week. And last week we came down to really focus on the chaturanga, from high plank to low plank, upward facing dog, downward facing dog, which is a really important part of this yoga flow. So go watch that if you haven't. And for those of you who are all caught up, roll your mat out or find a nice carpeted area and just come to a seated position. So whatever that means for you, you can sit crisscross applesauce, you can sit with your legs together and bring your butt to your heels, whatever feels good for you, or maybe all of that hurts, so you can just sit upright, maybe up against a wall with your legs straight out. But wherever you are, just start to breathe here. Close your eyes. And maybe you rest your hands facing up if you need to receive a little bit more right now. If maybe you need a little bit more grounding in your life, simply place your palms facing down. Deep inhales and exhales, and clear your mind of whatever is running you right now. If you're worried about things that you still have to do this week, things that didn't get done, emails that are bothering you, Zoom calls that are stressing you out, whatever it is, this is your time to give yourself permission to focus on none of that. Let it all go and just come into your body and check in with yourself. Connecting your mind, your body, your breath is one of the best ways to reset everything that is going on, and really the attitude that you will re-enter the world with after we're done with this practice. So deep inhales, maybe you try to match the length of your inhale with the length of your exhales, filling up your belly with a deep inhale, and then slowly exhaling, emptying out your belly and letting whatever needs to go, go. Deep breaths in and out. 2 more to your own count, inhales and exhales. One more deep inhale and exhale. And at the bottom of your exhale, plant your right hand beside your right hip and reach your left arm over to the right side, taking your gaze maybe up to your right arm, or if that doesn't feel good, taking it down to your side. Just let this feel good here. Feel that side body stretch. Breathe into the areas that are maybe holding on to some tension or feel tight. And on your next exhale, come back to your seated position. And then plant your left hand and reach your right arm over to the right side or to the left side of the room. Deep inhale, exhale. Once again, come back to center. And then wherever you are, come into your tabletop position here. And we're going to come into child's pose. So child's pose, bring your knees to the outer edges of your mat, your feet to touch at the back of your mat. Reach your arms forward as you drop your head down. And again, you can have a soft gaze or just close your eyes. Deep breath here. Let it go. And a lot of people working from home right now have really tight shoulders and upper back area. So if you are one of those, this is a really good stretch for you to do. Take your right arm and thread it underneath your left armpit and take your right ear to your mat. This is going to be a really good shoulder opener. And if this feels good here, just stay here. But if you feel like, hey, I can maybe open up my right shoulder a little bit more, simply start to roll more onto that side, and that will open up your shoulders more. Deep inhale Let it go. One more deep inhale. And at the bottom of this exhale, come back to child's pose. One deep breath in here. And then when you're ready, take your left arm and thread it underneath your right armpit with your palm facing up. Your left ear now is on your mat. And same thing here. Maybe this shoulder feels a little bit tighter. That's okay. You can just stay here. Maybe you don't go as deeply, or maybe you just stay in your child's pose, and that's great too. But if you can take this a little bit deeper, simply start to roll more onto that shoulder and feel that shoulder start to open up. One more deep inhale. And at the bottom of your next exhale, come back to your child's pose. On your next inhale, rise up into that tabletop position once again. So your shoulders are stacked over your wrists, your hips are stacked over your knees. Pull the pit of your belly in and up here. And when you're ready, bring your right arm, thumb up towards the front of your mat as your left leg goes towards the back of the mat. Again, engaging your core here from your skin to your muscle to your bone. Hug in. Your gaze is set directly below you. So you create a straight spine from the top of your head to the bottom of your back. One more deep inhale here. Exhale, come back to tabletop. On your next inhale, bring your left arm, thumb up towards the front of your mat, strong and straight as you bring your back right leg strong and straight in the opposite direction with that foot flexed like you're going to be stepping on that back wall. Deep inhale here. Exhale. One more deep breath in. This is great for core stability, to also strengthen the muscles in your lower back for those of us that have lower back issues. Come back to tabletop. Do this one more time to your own breath. On your next inhale, reach that right arm forward, your left leg back. Hold it here, pull everything in. Maybe you start to reach them even further, and then exhale, come back to tabletop. Inhale, your left arm straight, your right arm back, foot is flexed, your left arm is strong and straight. Really pulling the pit of your belly in, focus on that here. And then exhale, come back to tabletop. We'll do a couple of cat-cows now as well. So on your next inhale, take your gaze up as you bring your belly down towards your mat, bringing your tailbone up towards the ceiling. You're gonna create a nice little arch here. Maybe you shift your hips back and forth from left to right. And then at your next exhale, arch your back as far as you can towards the ceiling, coming into your cat pose. Your gaze is in between your legs. Once again, inhale, your cow, your belly going towards the mat, your gaze up towards the ceiling. Exhale to your cat pose. An angry cat, let your gaze settle in between your legs, moving however you need to get your body loose and just feeling where that tension is and breathing into that tension in your body. Just paying attention to what's happening with your mind, with your breath, and with your body. And on your next inhale, you're going to press back into downward facing dog. So send your hips up towards the sky. You want your hands to be shoulder width distance apart, your feet to be hip width distance apart, and just make sure that your heels are not touching your mat. If they are, simply walk your dog out a little bit more. And if you can see your heels when you set your gaze in between your legs, hide them behind your ankles. Pressing your shoulder blades in and down your back. Downward facing dog is going to be great to activate every muscle in your body. It's also a release for your hamstrings, for your calves. It's going to strengthen your arms and your triceps. Let your head hang loose here. Maybe you nod yes, and then no, and then end on a yes. One more deep inhale here. And at the bottom of your next exhale, look to the front of your mat, step your left foot behind your left wrist, your right foot behind your right wrist, and grab opposite elbows in a forward fold as we come into Ragdoll. So Ragdoll, again, this is going to be a great release for your hamstrings, for that lower back. Just sway back and forth here. Really focus on that tension that we're trying to release. Check in with yourself. What are you thinking about right now? If you're thinking about anything else except your ragdoll position, let it go. Feet are hip width distance apart, ground down into all four corners of your feet. Feel stable here. Maybe you play with shifting your weight into your toes a little bit, then your heels. And then just find that balance of grounding down to all 4 points of both of your feet. And on your next exhale, release your arms, toe heel your feet together, and one vertebrae at a time, roll up into Tadasana. Tadasana, you want a straight spine, okay? So if you feel like you're maybe curved out a little bit, your booty sticking out, simply lift the front of your pelvis as your tailbone descends to create a neutral spine. Your arms are long and straight on either side of your head, and your gaze is either directly in front of you or up towards the ceiling in between your hands. One more deep inhale here. And then on your next exhale, come to a forward fold with your hands planted on right in front of your feet. You might have to bend your knees a lot for that, and that's okay. Inhale, halfway lift to a flat back. Your hands might be at your shins or your knees, or maybe they're on your mat. Whatever feels good for you here, just create that tabletop position. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale once again to a halfway lift. And then on your next exhale, plant your hands and then step back into a high plank as you inhale. Exhale to low plank, drop your knees if you need to. And then inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra that we talked about last week. And then exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna do that sequence one more time. So one more deep inhale in your down dog. And on your next exhale, step to the front of your mat, however you wanna get there. Inhale, halfway lift to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift to a flat back. And when you're ready, plant your hands in front of your feet and step back into that high plank. Remember, you want your heels to be stacked over your toes, your shoulders to be stacked over your wrists. And then exhale to low plank. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. So the new part of our series this week is going to be like this. So pay attention as we build into our flow a little bit more. As you inhale, bring up your right leg, lift your right leg up as high as you can, keeping that foot flexed. And as slowly and as quietly as possible, engaging every part of your core, place your right leg in between your hands. And when you feel stable, rise up into Crescent Lunge. So Crescent Lunge, you don't want your feet to be on a tightrope. You want them to be more like on railroad tracks or even wider if that feels more stable for you. But when you rise up, it's kind of that lunge position with your front right knee stacked over your ankle and your back right leg, you can drop down to on that back knee if you want to. But if you want more of a challenge, you want that back leg to be strong and straight with that heel stacked over your toes. Pull the pit of your belly in and up. Make sure you're not pressing out. So you want to keep that straight, strong spine. Setting your gaze directly in front of you at a point that's not moving. That's your drishti, fancy word for gaze. One more deep inhale here in your Crescent Lunge, no matter where you are. And then exhale, plant your hands on either side of your foot and go through your flow. So you can either just go right into downward facing dog, or you can go from high plank to low, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Deep inhale, let it go. On your next inhale, raise your left leg high into the sky, and as quietly and as slowly as possible, engaging every muscle in your core, plant that left foot in between your hands. Deep inhale as you rise up into Crescent Lunge on your left. That front left knee is stacked over your ankle. Your back right leg is strong and straight, or it's dropped down onto your mat. Really pull everything in here. Squeeze your shoulder blades in and down your back, making sure even your arms are engaged in this pose. Your legs should start to feel really fired up. One more deep inhale. And then exhale, plant your hands on either side of your foot and go through your flow. Inhale, high plank. Exhale to low. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. When you're ready, bring that right leg up to the sky once again, and then bring it in between your hands. Rise up into crescent lunge on your right. Deep inhale here. Exhale, let it go. One more deep inhale, and on your next exhale, bring your hands to heart center, and we're gonna twist to the right. Now you may wanna drop that back knee if you've never done this before, just to get your balance and feel what this will feel like. But you're going to hook your left elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Now this is a twist, and it's really good to detoxify from stress that we're holding on to, from bad foods or drinks that we've been participating in. Just breathe here, taking your gaze up towards the ceiling, or it can be down towards your mat. If you want more of a challenge here, you can actually plant your left hand on the outside of your right foot as you send your right arm up to the sky. Maybe every time you inhale here, you reach a little bit further, and then when you exhale, maybe you twist a little bit more to detoxify a little bit more. But wherever you are, take one more deep inhale, and then exhale, plant your hands on either side of your foot, step back, and go through your flow. For those flowing with us, inhale, high plank, exhale to low, inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale your left leg up high to the sky. You know where we're going now, so go at your own pace. And when you're ready on your next exhale, plant that foot in between your hands as quietly as possible. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge on your left. Stay here for one breath. And then when you're ready, bring your hands to heart center and twist to your left. So your right elbow goes to the outside of your left thigh. Bringing your gaze once again up towards the ceiling, or maybe it's down at your mat. And maybe this side feels different, but acknowledge it. And if you didn't push yourself to your edge on the first side and you're thinking about it, if you're even curious about it, that means your body wants you to go. Give it a shot, okay? So as you twist here, maybe you open your arms out so your right arm goes to the outside of your left foot. Your right arm is strong and straight up towards the sky. Deep inhale as you reach even longer. Exhale, twist even further. And then when you're ready, plant your hands on either side of your foot and go through your flow. So you can do that as many times as you want. And that sequence that we went through, starting with your Tadasanas and going through your flow and then your crescent lunges, that's going to be a great way to get your heart pumping if that's what you want to do. Or you can modify, like we've talked about, and just get a good stretch in and just focus on connecting your mind, your body, and your breath, and just feel refreshed when you're done with this as well. I hope you guys enjoyed week 3 of our beginner yoga series. We'll continue to build on this next week, but I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you soon.